What's up, everybody? You know how we get down over here on this channel. We talk about the new methods. We talk about the new scams. We talk about the new bank scams methods. We talk about the dark web. We talk about everything, anything that's going on in today's scam world. Now, in today's video, we'll be talking about basically credit card fraud. Now, it's a lot of people out there that ask me about credit card fraud. How do people get CCs, CDs, dumps, fools, pins, and these etc. different things? Like how are these scammers doing all these different type of things? And a lot of people don't know that it's levels to credit card fraud. There's levels to everything in the scam and the fraud world. You got the people that are doing the basic fraud, and then you got the people at the top of the pyramid that doing the real big credit card fraud methods. Now, there are a lot of different people in this dark world. There are a lot of different people that are committing some type of scam, some type of fraud to attain some type of revenue, and a lot of people don't have the same knowledge, and this is what goes on when it comes to these different methods. There are people with different knowledge, different with people with different understandings, and people with different ways of doing different things. So, credit card fraud, you got a lot of people who are sloppy and don't utilize the information that's given to people out there in the universe. And what I mean by that is like there are people who have personal credit cards and there are people who have business credit cards. Now, understanding the world and how everything works will allow somebody to know and understand that most people in the world are broke. And for people who understand business credit and credit, they know that anything on the personal side is for emergency purposes only. So, personal credit cards and debit cards are not going to be good hitters because one, the average American is broke, so they're not going to have too much money in their debit account or in their checking account. And two, they're not going to have a 10, 20, $30,000 personal credit card. Credit cards are for emergency purposes only when you have personal credit cards. So that's why the difference between personal and business debit and credit cards are completely different in the fraud and the scam world. And a lot of people don't know that. People just hear debit card, credit card fraud, this and that. You can do this. It's not like that. And that's what's getting a lot of people jammed up and messed up. So when it comes to business credit cards and debit cards, people got to understand that. Hold on, y'all. Let me get this camera. People got to start understanding that. Like I said, people got to start understanding that it's different things. So you got your debit and your credit cards on the business side, and your debit and your credit cards on the business side are completely different from the debit and credit cards on the personal side. Everything on the business side is meant to be spent. So when they give people business loans, credit cards, and lines of credit, they understand that that money that they're lending that person is going to be spent because it takes money to make money. And that's how it goes in the business world. So when people are getting loans, credit cards, and lines of credit on the business side, that's money that's being lent to them that they can utilize to make more money. So people get business loans, credit cards, and lines of credit. Once they get these business loans, credit cards, and lines of credit, these things are now attached to their business accounts. So they have business accounts. So a lot of times, a lot of businesses have multiple business credit cards, multiple business savings accounts, multiple business checking accounts. And depending on how successful that business is, there be will depend on how much money are in all these accounts. So off the bat, scammers and fraudsters are more focused on business debit business accounts, period. Because that's where the money is. That's where the more guaranteed money is. Vice versa, personal account. You can find a business with $100,000 business credit cards. You're not gonna find a personal account or somebody with a personal credit $100,000 personal credit card. It's not. It's not. That doesn't exist. So there are places now. This is where credit card fraud is really misconstrued, because there's a lot of people out there that use the black box still. There's a lot of people out there that utilizes the skimmer still. There's a lot of people that utilize dark websites. There's a lot of people that understand that there are different businesses that holds people's debit and credit cards for payments, and that they have that information in a database. So there's different ways for scammers and fraudsters to obtain credit and debit card information. Now, when people are getting information from these different companies or people they might know, databases like it might be a bank database, it might be a car database like a GM or Dodge or Chrysler, but people utilize their debit cards on auto pay, and once that card is on auto pay, that card is now stored in that system, and people get those systems or that database with all that information on it. So they might go about it that way. They might go on the dark web and buy different information. There's different ways how people get different information. Now, when people utilize skimmers, it's a hit or miss, because they don't know. People might utilize their gas credit card to buy gas. People might use their debit card. People might use their business. People use different things to utilize at the gas pump. So there's a site on the dark web, and this site on the dark web, whatever you want to call it, it basically has nothing but business pros, business logs, business CVVs, dumps, foods, pins, credit, debit cards, just pure business. And Demon is basically is Demon Biz, the Demon Biz market on the dark web. And like I tell you guys all the time, dark websites are not www.blah.blah.blah.com. No, they're long encrypted addresses of like Bitcoin addresses that you can't post on the clear net. You can't. It's forbidden. They blocked it. So that's why it's really hard to find dark websites or dark dark world sites on the clear net because of that. They make it's forbidden for you to post them on the clear net. But on this site, there are a lot of different business things that you can buy: business logs, business CVs, CV dumps, fools, pins, debit cards, credit cards, etc., etc. Now, this is the thing: businesses, like I said, businesses have multiple credit cards. They might have $20,000 credit cards, which is around $200,000. Different things, right? So what the scammers and the fraudsters are saying, okay, let me go on this site, let me buy this information, and let me launder or whatever, get the money off of these cards, order things. Now, people have different ways on how to obtain money from these goods. Some people might order products and resell them. Some people might buy different things, buy prepaid debit cards. People do a lot of different things to launder money from different business debit cards, credit cards, accounts, etc., etc. And it's becoming easier and easier for scammers and fraudsters to do these things due to the world and the evolution of scams, frauds, methods, and technology. Due to there being Chat GPT, people are able to, just like people are able to jailbreak phones, which is a whole software, people are now able to jailbreak Chat GPTs into fraud GPTs. And once somebody jailbreaks that and turns it to a fraud GPT, that technology is now a very strong force, because now you can command this GPT site to do whatever you're asking it to do. And just like we utilize ChatGPT to create pictures, scripts, whatever, now they're using these fraud GPT sites to create dark websites, create methods, create glitches, create loads. There's sites, fraud GPT sites, where they will find information for you. Find information for you. Literally, go and say, "Can you find me blah blah?" This for this as an example, credit card information, and it will find credit card information for you. It's like free information. But every GP fraud, GBT site on the dark web is not just legit or not just as powerful as the next. It all goes into the curator, the engineer. What do they know? What all are they willing to present or promote, or the time that they're willing to put into the coding process for this site to have different sources. And a lot of people don't have that time or that knowledge to be able to do that, but there are people out there that do, and these sites are the ones that are starting to become more popular because it's making it easier for scammers and fraudsters to do a lot of different things. So, like I said, when it comes to credit card fraud, there are a lot of different ways that scammers and fraudsters might utilize it. Like I said, people get information. They might buy the information off the dark web or get information from different places, and they might rewrite the card, meaning that they take that information, they go put it in the system, and write that information on blank cards. And there are places on the dark web that will basically send you, like, we all know how there were those white blank cards. Now the people are becoming so advanced that there are sites on the dark web where you can order designed blank cards. Like, it might be look like a Bank of America card. It might look like a Chase card. It might look like a Wells Fargo card. You basically can get a blank card of anything that you want, because nowadays banks are allowing people to customize their own debit cards and credit cards. You can have your picture on it. You can have whatever you want on it, which is allowing it to be easier for scammers and fraudsters to be able to order a batch of these cards off the dark web, buy information off certain places and certain sites, like I said, just like the marketplace that I just gave you, Demon Biz Demon Biz Market. They have nothing but business information from logs, debit, credit cards, you name it. Um, People are going on these sites, buying this information, write them on these new debit cards that look like all different type of banks, and making a lot of things, because people are starting to understand when it comes to business credit cards, there's more money on those cards, and you can get cash advances off these cards. You can go to a Western Union or a different bank and say, I want to get a cash advance off this card. You're going to insert that card. They're going to say, how much are you looking to get? $5,000. They're going to give you $5,000 cash. You just took off $5,000 cash off this $20,000 business credit card. These are what these scammers and fraudsters are doing. They're buying these different informations or different business credentials, debit and credit cards, mostly credit cards, because the credit cards, well, debit and credit, it really doesn't matter. They're buying these cards, they're making withdrawals, and just keeping the process going. So it's a lot of different credit card methods out there. There's a lot of different check methods. There's a lot of different technology methods. There's a lot of different methods out there in the world. There's a lot of different ways that people are doing a lot of different things. There's a lot of new sites that's popping up in the dark world. There's a lot of new methods that's popping up. There's getting a lot of random people rich. There's a lot of those same methods getting a lot of random people caught up and thrown in jail. So like I said, um, these sites are becoming more and more sophisticated, more and more able to be used, create different things. There's a lot of different sites that only focuses on certain things, like this site I just gave you guys. Um, and it's just all about staying more safe and staying more cautious and being more aware, because these are real things that's happening in real life, and most people don't believe that it is happening. Most people don't believe in fraud or scams, but these same people want to do a method or do a loan or do something to get them quick, fast money. And I tell you guys all the time, everything surrounds and evolves and runs through technology. If technology is allowing people to send, receive, and store money on platforms, what else do you think technology can do? So it's all about just being more safe, being more cautious, and being more aware. These dark web sites are starting to boom, take off. A lot of people are starting to learn about different things that they can do and utilize the loopholes that come with it. Like I said, people are starting to learn these loopholes with credit, businesses, loans, credit cards, lines of credit, ways how to get them. Because, like I said, you don't even have to go into a bank nowadays to apply for a bank account, apply for a loan, apply for a credit card, to buy a house, to sell a house. You don't have to go inside the banks. You don't even have to be seen nowadays. Everything is being done from a phone, which is technology. So, dark biz market, alpha biz market, Amazon biz markets, a lot of business markets out there on the dark web that are producing different business credentials that are getting people rich. And a lot of people don't know about that. A lot of people are not thinking to focus on business accounts and business credit cards and debit cards. They just want to credit or do some type of credit or debit card fraud. Those are people that are getting jammed up. Those are people who are not really making it far in life because they're not thinking straight. They're just not thinking straight. So like I tell you guys all the time, shout out to all y'all. We talk about the methods. We talk about the new scams. We drop the sauce. We drop everything over here. It's a million. It's a million, a billion people on YouTube. But you decided to be over here with me. I'll see y'all at the next video. The next method. Peace.